Well, hello, and we're back with more Roadwarden. And last episode, I managed to clean myself up a little bit. Well, not literally. I still a bit stinky, but I managed to fix my armor, take a nice break, and most importantly, get some money. So, with that said, let's dive into it. You leave the wetlands behind. The pebbled road runs through the hillside with tall grasses and rock faces above you, and dark lush forest below. Chunks of this path were shaped by human tools, who knows how many centuries ago. To widen it, the builders dug through the uneven borders and used rocks and logs to fill up the cavities. Thousands of rocks, each one smaller than your first. While you have a good view of what's happening between the trees on your right, the bushes and shrubs grow so densely between them that you can't imagine entering these woods on your own. Farther south, there are plumes of smoke. A settlement, most likely. Indeed. Let's go. Ooh, I'm sensing bodies. I'm sensing lots of bodies. At the top of the hill, you reach a stone wall, a quiet place with no smoke coming from behind it. You look inside and see the glimpse of a peaceful ruin. While the main road is beaten and easy for hooves to trod, the destroyed gate and the remains of the front yard have almost been reclaimed by the short grasses. You seek any suspicious movement, but the place seems to be free of inhabitants, larger than a falcon. The air is fresh, and the wind shakes the tree crowns gently. I enter the yard. Let's do it. The hamlet could be a hunter's shelter, a military outpost, or a storehouse for traders, but you spot no fresh human trails. The damaged door and gate are years old, soggy and mouldy, and judging by the squirrels, birds, and the animal feces you see in the grass, this place is but a part of the wilderness. The roof collapsed only a few years back, turning into food for mushrooms. The outer wall looks generations old, but it used to be maintained. Some of its materials came from different times and areas. I enter the building. Yeah, screw it. Why not? When in Rome. It's a simple chamber with no furniture that would explain its purpose. The fireplace is buried beneath the roof. You inspect the walls made of hundreds of small rocks dressed with a chisel. The trash is heavy from the moisture. You push it with your boot, what starts a commotion among grey, disoriented bugs. Removing the rubble would take some sort of effort, but for now it doesn't look like there's anything of value left behind. With enough wood, a group of builders could restore this hamlet in just a few days. You hear a rustle coming from the backyard. You look through the crumbling wall and notice the movement of reddish fur. Not a tall creature. I prepare my axe. Its touch calms you down. The sound of animal steps are careful and light. Okay, I go behind the building. See what's behind here. The chaos sparks right after you approach the tree stump. The dusk fox's growls sound like a mix of an obnoxious bird and an infant. One of the animals standing only a few feet away from you is jumping and showcasing its tiny sharp teeth and a raccoon-like black mask on its little head. The animal, with its thick brownish grey fur, seems more stout than any red fox. The second loud creature jumps onto a table made of halved trunk. Unlike the first one, it has a brighter golden fur. It blends one of its forelegs, observing you with its dark eyes, not furious nor scared, rather sad and protective. Its growls turn into a miserable whine. The beasts are not even waist high, but their number may be an issue. There's yet another sound coming from behind you, and even more from the bushes nearby. Ooh. No time to wait. I cut one of them as quickly as I can. I need to block their charge. I raise my hands and prepare myself to strike back. I step away to try to count them. I don't know what the benefit would be for me sticking around this. Let's step away, I think, maybe. But I don't know, because it feels like that's just going to put me into another thing. It sounds like I'm going to be attacked no matter what, so I think I'm prepared to strike back. You step back as a fox in front of you jumps at your chest. You hit it with the blunt side of your axe, sending it into the air. It lands on all fours. Before you decide to run after it, the golden creature catches your forearm with its teeth, unable to pierce through it. Its weight makes you lose focus, giving enough time to the third opponent. One that was sneaking behind you to bite your leg. It hurts, but the animal is weakened, lumbering on its paws. You manage to free yourself with a single kick. The dusk foxes spread. There are two small pups hidden behind a tree stump, keeping their distance, piercing your ears with their yelps. The protective growls at you, warning you to stay away. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to hurt them. I should have just gone. I make a run for it. Let's go. You pass the weaker fox and run towards your belongings, encouraging the beast to chase you all the way to the gate as they growl with determination. For now, they stay in the shelter, filled with pride. You and Nick Clegg take a few steps away. I feel like I need to get rid of them for it to be like habitable. I feel like there's going to be a thing where we can come back and rebuild this place, but I need to get rid of them. However, I don't know. I don't think no. You know what? No. They're staying. It's fine. They're not threatening anybody. They're not a problem. That's right. Yeah. Let's leave this. The dusk foxes observe you as you climb up the saddle. They're growling and walking in a circle. One of the pups knocks down their sibling, starting a playful fight. Yeah, there's no reason to bother them. Let's move on. Let's pretend we didn't see that. Ooh, we got two paths here. Let's continue this path, I guess. Let's see what's onwards. You're squeezed between the hills and forests, the only larger beast you spot in a single saurian basking on a boulder, lazily observing you from a safe distance. Your ears catch the howls coming from the north, long and loud, and as you keep an eye on the rock ledges, you almost miss the drastic shift in the landscape. The forest turns into a lake, and the few plants growing next to the road mostly bear fruit. The road is not as reliable here as it was in the hills. Part of it are a bit muddy, and the puddles disturb your ride. Maybe the locals will maintain it before it gets swallowed by the lake. Maybe. Hard maybe. Ooh, this looks nice. The deep, loud yells of howlers are piercing your ears, conceding any other sound in the area. They're sitting on branches and in tall grasses, not really trying to hide. Their thick black and gold furs cover their entire shells, aside from the charcoal black faces with roundish, flat noses and wide nostrils. The younger members of the pack are about the size of your mount's head, but the larger ones would be chest high if it wasn't for the fact they walk on all fours. Their long tails are like an additional arm, helping them climb, hang from the branches, or hold food while they eat. They aren't particularly muscular, but when they form their pink lips into the shape of a cup to release their howls, their mouths are so wide they could fit your entire arm inside. As you listen to their shouts, you reach for your head. You feel a weird itch, but somehow you can't scratch it. Well, I gotta keep my distance, right? Take a look behind the boulder. Oh, the whitish raw hide covers the grass like a blanket, surrounded by paw prints. The howlers don't wait for you to approach it. One of the larger ones jumps on the ground, leaning on its hands and challenging you with its gaze. It has rather blunt teeth. Also, I only have one hit point. Which I've just paid attention to right now. Do I have anything? I don't think I do I? I don't have anything to heal. I've got one food ration left, which is not good. God, how am I broke again, basically? It's kind of what I'm getting. I need to leave. Yeah, I need to get away. I need to, God damn it. I need to find a settlement or heals. I need to possibly go all the way back to Howler's Dell. I'm a little rough for wear at the minute. Can we just carry on? Maybe there's something this way. I need to come back to that. I need health. That's what I need. The lakeside is filled with the chirping of cicadas, sure, and crickets. as well as the roaring of beasts from the northern hills. Farther down the road you see tall yellow grasses and interwoven with flowers and bumblebees, while the peaceful water shines just as much as the wings of dragonflies. This road is often travelled, and the clatter of hooves carries far. Thanks to the vast field of view, the creatures hiding in the meadows are unlikely to jump on an animal as large as Nick Clegg. In the distance, you see a palisade and a large building set on the side of a crossroad. Once you get closer, you hear a conversation from behind the wall. Two men are arguing about if they really just heard a horse. Maybe they know some useful rumors. Let's have a chat. Let's have a conversation. Let's meet up. Ooh, this is nice. Nick Clegg carries you towards the open gate on its own, welcoming an opportunity to rest by pushing out the air loudly through its nostrils. A nearby wooden pen wouldn't offer much space for a horse, but should be enough for grazing and a nap. As you dismount, two men get up from the front stairs. Their clean-shaven faces reveal that they're in their early 20s. The first one is taller than you, broad-shouldered, wears light brown pants and a darker jacket, both of them made of leather. With an inviting smile, he gets up and moves to open the enclosure. His steps are heavy and slow, but every movement is marked with care, ensuring he won't knock down anything or anyone. The second man looks as different from his colleague as the sun from the moon. He's unusually short and wears a heavy cloak made of black fur, so large it could cover his entire shell. He opens the door of the building, hides his hand, and peeks into the room. Foggy! His voice is shrill and uncovered. A messenger! Come! I take off some of my bundles, let my horse rest. A hanging barrel sways in the wind, marking the place as an inn or a tavern. The building resembles a merchant's house from Hovleven, whitewashed and with oiled, elegant wooden beams. Fragile walls are high enough to avoid floors and snow, but you have no doubt that a troll or even a pebbler could easily break through them. Palisade is short, has hardly any support, and has no walkway for crossbowmen. Hardly enough for even a makeshift hamlet. Yet it's the open harbour that makes you uneasy. Aside from the fish, any creature, aquatic or not, could just walk into the yard, undisturbed. The path is covered with paw prints and claw marks. Better not to leave Nick Clegg outside during the night. I agree. A black and white bird swoops into the water, then flaps its wings and takes off with a silver twitching creature in its talons. The large man clears his throat. And what have we here? Coming from a far friend? Are there now horses in howlers? His voice is stentorian, close to a shout. You vaguely recognize his accent as one found at the city harbour. Well then, let's have a chat. What do I want here? Yeah, I mean, I do need a place to rest. I am barely standing. Yes. With your beast, it may not be the right place, you have to ask Ma. He scratches the back of his head. You have to lead it inside, and I'm not going to clear its droppings, you know? You hear heavy footsteps. A woman shows up in the doorway and looks at you from the top of the stairs. She's even more towering and stout than her son. The man who just welcomed you with a massive chest and a pear-shaped face with a prominent chin. Her movements are composed and confident. Excuse me. She may be older than 50 with a mixture of grey and dark blonde hair. She has only one arm, the left one notably muscular, with a hand so large it could likely chop off Nick Clegg's head with a single strike or crush yours like a berry. Though the slit of her robe, made of a creamy, worn fur, you spot her trunk-like legs. She runs her eyes over your blade, armor, and mount. Her lips form into something of a smile, distorted by the scar that runs through her mouth. The tall guy looks a lot like her. Yeah? He spreads his arms, forming a chain between you and her. The traveller is looking for a place to rest. His powerful voice turns timid, and he keeps turning his head from left to right and back. But there's this horse, I don't know. Meet Foggy, friend. The woman looks at him with amusement, then glances at your palfrey. Aye, and this, she vaguely stretches out her hand over the yard, is Foggy Lake. Are you here to see me, love? I'll just stopping by. The voice is hoarse. Hoarse? Horse, sure. Like that of a traveller who's spent too many autumn nights in cold tents, yet carries a hint of motherly concern. I close the animal pen behind me and head towards the stairs. Most folk will spend the night here or walkers, but if you have coin, we'll let your horse inside. You won't find another shelter in this part of Dragonwoods, especially not in the creeks. She scratches her broad chin with sausage-like fingers. You drink? I'll drink anything if it gives me some more hit points. Playful. What's play? Oh, yeah, I mean that's true too. No, I don't know. See. Oh yeah, let's do. Yeah, I make a single loud clap. Rub my hands together. Wouldn't dare insult your hospitality. A brief, powerful laughter is enough to scare away the birds from the lake. Your mount lets out a fearful snort. You'll have to visit Creeks, dear. It will love you there. Come, share a story with me and a mug. Without waiting for your response, she walks inside. The tall man takes a deep breath. Go ahead, we'll take care of your horse. He encourages you with a gesture, and by that he means we won't do anything with it. Adds the man in the black fur. Whenever his screechy words follow the deep voices of his companions, he sounds like a brat. We won't be feeding or washing beasts that aren't going in a stew, but we'll keep an eye on it. They find new spots to rest the side of a boat and a stool near the palisade. Without another word, I go upstairs. Yeah, I'll speak to the lady. The narrow, segmented window shutter let in a lot of light without letting the beast inside. The air is humid, but carries not a hint of English words. Putridity. The heels of Foggy's boots make her steps thunder even though the planks don't creak. Make yourself at home, she says without looking at you. Heading to the trapdoor in the corner, I'll just grab a little something. Your ears catch the screeches of hunting birds and the wind that leaks in through the windows. But other than that, the room is quiet. I mean, make yourself at home. Investigate the main hall, sure. The room is crammed with stuff. The bare pellet on the ground would be a nice resting spot, but the place doesn't look like a real home. No chests, no cabinets for clothes, no toys or tools for simple crafts that would fill the time during rainy evenings. Living with so many windows in winter would be a struggle. One could clear this place in one morning and move all it's worth saving into a single wagon. The only things of exceptional value are the cauldron made of pricey steel and the hanging head of an insect-like monster. Its mandibles don't move, the dim eyes seem intact, and its armoured head tells us a long story of survival through scratches and cuts. Yeah, you know what, it doesn't appear like there's much here, let's just sit down. You take a glance at the blood on the table, the scattered yellow feathers, and a bowl of guts and talons. You find yourself a clean stool. Foggy shows up soon, smiling, holding 2 cups in her hand, a bottle in her fingers, and a cloth under her shoulder. She puts everything on a stool and wipes the table clean. Forgive the mess, just part of the job. She explains without a hint of apology. I'd rather dress birds in the yard, but the blood lures beasts. Sometimes the folks from creeks bring us meals, but we need to take care of ourselves. She throws the bloody cloth back into the bucket, making a splash, then sits down on a stool, making it look like it was made for a doll. She rests her elbow on the table and looks you in the eyes. Her voice is warm, yet intrusive. So who am I dealing with? I introduce myself. The bottle removes its seal seemingly by itself. The wax floats in the air briefly, then lands on the table gently. Without a word, she pours a thick liquid into the cups with her only hand, but doesn't offer you a drink just yet. Right, conversation. What are we well, let's start with the obvious one. We're looking for Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. She looks at you for a longer moment without the slightest movement. And how do you think he's here? Wait, is he here? That seemed a bit that seemed a bit defensive. Excuse me. I'm not saying that I do, but you know where I can find him. I misunderstood you. She shakes her head and leans on the table. I don't know his whereabouts. He didn't tell me a thing more than I needed to hear. What can you tell me about him? When was the last time you saw Asterion? She glances at a window. Same as the others, in the late days of the spring. We were waiting for his return, me and all the villages, then moved on. I have no idea where he went. All of the villages, you say? She turns towards you with the fierceness of a bear. That's what I said. What can you tell me about him? She rests her only hand across her stomach, which you identify as her version of crossing her arms. A customer and an errand runner. That's what's there to say. Oh, goddess. Your additional questions don't get many more answers. She brings up the man's looks and equipment without adding much to what you've already learned from Julia. He was paying with dragons, rarely bartered. That's what city folk do, eh? Seeking riches, then locking themselves in a chamber, prisoners of their might. Well said. Not really what I'm aiming for. Well said, sure. A chuckle makes you think of a wolf's growl. Did he do any jobs for you? He presses her tongue against her cheek and lips. Well, I'm not sure. He was bringing me news or delivering my messages. Sold me some stuff, sometimes brought a thing or two. His life wasn't really that riveting, just another mug guzzler, sitting in the corner patching his clothes. Did he sell you anything unusual? She stares at you without blinking, such as what? I can't buy it back, so I haven't got a lot of money. Something you found in an unusual place? Such tales stay between me and my guests. She nods towards the wall that separates you from the lake. This place may be open, maybe too open, but it guards secrets just fine. You don't sound especially bothered by his disappearance. You see me as someone eager to make friends with a vagabond? I'll take it as a compliment to my skills as a tavern keep. Folks come and go. Their faces disappear. Friends die in my arms. She pauses. Families fade away. There was a different Roadwarden years ago, and there is another one now. But there's only one Foggy in the north, and one... Lan? Alien? I can't read that. I don't know what that is. Lan, I think, yeah. Ilan? That's two L's, that's Lan, yeah. Okay, there's only one Lan. I don't know why that threw me off as much as that slow son of mine. And one Creeks, I have only so many tears to spare. Sorry. We'll return to this later. Okay, cool. Maybe once our souls are too restless to stay quiet, but now go ahead, enjoy your drink. You raise the cup to your nose, you smell flowers, yeast and hops. The liquid is golden on the edges, but resemble red amber in the center. It's as thick as an herbal medicine. Oh, medicament. God, English today. You take a look at your companion, seeking a hint of what's expected of you. In some places, people gulp down their mead, but your vessel allows you to appreciate the aroma. The huge keeper smiles and takes a sip. You follow her lead, allowing the drink to pass your lips. It's warm, hiding none of its subtleties. Drinking mead is a never-ending conflict between holding the taste in your mouth and saving yourself from the tormenting sweetness of honey. Yet the flavors of flowers are just as present. Too difficult to capture just yet. Foggy leans forward with an elbow resting on the table. Well, for me it's a lazy day. At least the rain spares us, so nicely holding off till evening. Okay. What do I want to know? What's the story behind this place? What brought you north? You don't look like... Yeah, that's it. That's a good point. Yeah, you don't. You don't look like somebody who should be cleaning tables. What gives? Oh, I'm trying to pry. Once you burn enough dead friends and relatives, clean tables start to look like plenty tempting. She leans forward and takes another look at her bottle, sealing it with an approving nod. Mama and Pa were both big and strong. One time they saw me sitting on this kid twisting his arm, so they started to teach me. Staff duels, running, lifting barrels and rocks. Thankfully the army chieftain that I wasn't disciplined enough. She rubs the scars on her forehead. So I did a lot of things. Escorted some merchants, joined a group of adventurers, hunted for bounties, guarded a village, temple. The last memory makes her voice gloomy. Not all of these things make me proud of myself. She smells the mead in her cup, but doesn't take a sip. I moved here only after I lost my arm. When the folks were fleeing the invasion, I took Lan, a casket of dragons, and joined a more organised group. Arm or not, I still have a fierce punch. She lets out a pleased grunt. I was worth keeping around. Her voice can't hide that she's delighted to carry on with her tale. Now that the years are catching up with me, and even more so with my back, I need to build myself a decent shelter. I crave no adventures, but I'm happy to hear stories from other restless souls. In the meantime, I'll practice this little trick. She points at a cauldron in the middle of the room and starts making circles with her finger. The ladle mimics the movement, mixing the stew for another minute or two. That's also good for my back. Okay. Let's change the topic because. Well, let's have a look. Let's see what you got for sale. Now you're talking. She grins. Well, I could serve you some of my cooking, not food rations, mind you. You need what we can save for the winter. I'll need what we can save for the winter. Let's say you give me a dragon, and in return, I'll cook for you 4 times. You just need to ride up when you're hungry. And other than that, you won't take any wood or stone. You won't take any wood or stone, are you? Seeing your shrug, she waves it off and heads towards the trapdoor. After a minute, she shows up with a sack that clangs after every step. I can sell you some scraps. She pulls out a couple of iron clasps, nails, and a broken steel blade. We found them while foraging. We don't have a furnace in Creeks, but you could sell these bits and pieces to someone else. She observes for a moment and shrugs. Let's discuss the price. Let me take a look first. I mean, that's everything. That's everything I have. I mean, let's do that. I like the idea of having meals to go. Sell iron scraps. I could sell them. Pretty sure there's someone at Dwell that would buy that. It's a gamble. It is a gamble. What else? Wait, do you? Yeah. It's such a gamble. Right, we're doing it. We're doing it. Fine, we're doing it. I'd like to eat. Yes, I'd like to eat. Let's have one. Oh my god, it filled me up. Proper good stuff. She stretches out her arm and grabs a bowl. Give me a moment. You sit down at the clean table. After a moment, the keeper brings you old rye bread, a fistful of nuts, a roasted rat, and a mug of corn brew. Once you're done, Foggy packs the leftovers for you as a snack for the rest of the day, and mention that you've already paid for another 3 meals. Cool. Okay. So I think we will leave it on that note. So, I mean, it's coming to the end of the day anyway, so I'm going to need a place to rest, but it just... I literally spent the last of my money like an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. But what I will do is I will be sure to head back and sell that. Hopefully sell that. It's got to be worth more than 6. And maybe go back to the city and help out the guards. Maybe that's going to be an option. Hopefully there's a job there. I need money again. Suddenly I'm broke again. God damn it. Right back to square one. I didn't achieve anything. Actually, it's worse than that because I lost a hit point as well. So, God damn it. Alright, cool. Yeah, we will leave it there anyway. Thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you next time. Bye.